My name is Luke Reardon, and this is my Mod 1 Personal Intro and Cultural Diversity. Let's get this thing started. Here's a little bit about myself. I grew up in Solomon, Kansas, actually where I live today. I am one of six siblings. I threw that in there. Here's my lovely family right here. This is actually taken at my wedding a little while ago. I did, in fact, skipping down to the last one, but I did, in fact, marry my beautiful bride, Sarah, about 4 years ago. And we have two beautiful sons together. My son here, his name is David. Was born, oh, he's about 21 months old. Almost, he's getting pretty close to two. Was born in May. And we have a new little one. This little guy named Thomas. We call him Tommy. He was born January 4th this month. So we're still adapting to having two rather than one, trying to keep the small one alive from jealous attacks from David. I'm sure if there's any fathers in here, mothers, parents, you know what I'm talking about. Yep, and this is like I said earlier, that was my beautiful wife up there named Sarah. I am German and Irish on both sides of my family. I threw religion in there as part of to explain the customs and traditions of my family because most of that does revolve around religion. And we are Catholic, and a lot of our things that we do that was passed down to me was based off of our religious beliefs. So, like prayer before meals, going to church on Sundays, nighttime prayer, all of those things that is incorporated with this religion is would be centered around the traditions and customs that we still follow today. My educational experience. I hear I'm going to brag about myself a little bit. I've been in education for 5 years. I first taught in Kansas City. Brookside's a suburb of it. I was at St. Peter's in Missouri, right up there where good old Patrick Mahomes just bought a house around that area. He's kind of kind of cool. Anyway, last 4 years I've been back in Solomon, Kansas, where I am actually you can see that wonderful flag behind me right now. I'm sitting at my desk. I can't get these things done in my house once again because of this little devil right there. So get my stuff done at school, then I can go home and fully be at home. But anyway, I coach everything here in small towns. This I don't know. This school is just a couple hundred people. I have a big class is 25 kids, and I teach all of middle school, so seven all the way up, or our middle school here is fifth all the way up through eighth grade. So I teach fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth all throughout the day. Um, so it gets a little hectic, but I coach football. I coach everything: football, basketball, track. Growing up, I did everything and loved it all, and always wanted to coach. This picture here, that's Solomon, but this picture here was last year. We were did pretty well. We won our league. This is junior high football. We won our league football league. We won league in our football, which is a big deal for us. And then we turned right around and won basketball as well. I'm the head coach in junior high basketball, so these are the same kids. I get them all year. I coach all three sports with them and have them in class every day, and it's good. It's fun. It's good to be around them that much and really get to know them on a personal level. Hobbies, some more things about myself. Sorry if things grossed you out, but I love to hunt, love to fish. Uh, this fish I caught this last year in Milford Lake, little 47-pound blue cat. Do it all the time if I could. Um, I love deer hunting. I think especially nowadays, it's don't even really need to take a weapon. I could just sit in a tree all day, get a little peace and quiet, especially when you're a teacher and with two boys at home. Sitting in a tree turns into quite a blessing. I do wish that some of my hobbies were a little more productive. Some of my friends, they're always building things or creating things while I just, I go sit in a tree for hours. Um, Picture, I do love to travel. That was a picture of myself. My wife was with me. I didn't have a good one of my wife and I, but we were in Haiti doing some mission work during college. Um, like I said, I'm up for anything outside, anything outdoors, and this picture here proves it. I played a couple years of lacrosse in college completely randomly. They were I was in the weight room and they asked me if I wanted to join lacrosse because they were trying to get a team started up throughout the school, and I said yes. And ended up playing 2 years and loved it. So anything that's moving and outside. Lately, I'm turned into full dad mode. Here, this picture. I My neighbors all have really nice lawns, and I started off trying to mow and do keep up with the neighbors, but turned into, like I said, full blown dad mode. I I love working in the yard. I love all yard work, making sure my lines are perfect in my front lawn and back. Um, Little things. I won't let my wife, leave our little tiny kiddie pool for our son David. I won't let her leave it full on the grass. It'll leave a ring, and she gets annoyed, and I get annoyed, and but for opposite ends of the aisle. So that's my son. He got that this little toy mower, and he follows me follows me around while I do my thing. So it's kind of funny, kind of cute. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this. These first two, especially cultural diversity and uh, appreciate cultural diversity. These two videos were phenomenal. I sat there and I'm thinking, all right, here, let's get this assignment done. Then I'm like glued in watching these. So I was glad it was part of the assignment, and I actually brought in some of this stuff talking about cell phones to these younger kids. But this is what I did with these assignments. I mean, with these videos and the article we read. Basically, just took the highlights and I was going to talk about them. I kind of was typing them out as the video went. But these are the highlights. I'll read them real quick. So, an average of 7 seconds to make an impression and take in an impression to make conclusions of each other. Would you know these people in that time? So many pieces fill up one person. How many would fill up a room? These are those pieces being experiences. Experiences make up a person. I won't be the same as I was in 10 years as I am today, based on what I go through. So we focus on racial diversity and not cultural diversity. Preconceptions of what others see. Higher with background diversity. Think of everyday life. Do you know them? Social media versus getting to know experiences. Must be able to listen and share experiences past the 7 second impressions. I read this real quick, but I'm thinking um, personally about that 7 second impression. How many times do I walk past somebody on the street and just make a quick snap judgment of them? I think everybody's guilty of it. I definitely am. But you think about when you're back in middle school, I think of all these girls, fighting and all the drama going on. And you think if they actually sat down and hung out with somebody and learned their experiences and actually got to know that person, I think the world would be a little bit different. And on the flip side of that, I put down social media. I wrote that down just kind of as a quick note to myself. You think of all these people who, we all know that Facebook and Instagram, whatever, are highlight reels. But you look at social media and you think you're making those snap decisions or those snap impressions based off of somebody over the internet, um, even if you don't know them. And then you're comparing that person to yourself, which is creating a lot of issues around today. And I think it's something to think about when you talk about those 7 second snap impressions. Um, anyway, my picture here, explaining our picture, puzzle, obvious. She talked about how each person is like a puzzle, and pieces are experiences. This one that I just talked about relates directly with this one. It's past time to appreciate cultural diversity. So, talked about a fake Asian being born in Australia, but people still considered her, Asian. They didn't really understand didn't really understand that she grew up there. She is Australian. Um, but when you look at these things down here um, that I love to read. So cultural diversity is great for business. Why? Wide variety of experiences. You're looking at cultural diversity, not racial diversity. So experiences can focus more on facts and remain objective just because of where everybody's coming from. A lot more innovative, product solving, make decisions, all based off of these people that can think of one common solution that works for everybody's experiences. So other ones, why manage other expectations, explain what teamwork leadership can look like, and create environments where people can bring whole selves to work because there are real strengths in differences. And it's important in my reflection at the end of this. I talk a little bit about this, so I'll just say it now, but just the fact that I think a lot of business owners, school. I mean, when you hear diversity, you think, okay, am I diverse? So I need a black person, I need a white person, I need a Mexican, I need a female and a male, all in this, in my company, and then I will be diverse. Um, People who don't dive deep enough or think about it just from that skim level will never grow in their company or help their company or their relationships if um, they don't see the person for who they are and get to know them in each puzzle piece that makes them who they are. Um, the challenges, there's a lot of information in this video and more factual. So I threw down just some factual information. Understanding stereotypes, so through the three-way process, the cognitive, affective, and behavioral, how they behave, how they think, and how they interact. Um, but these three things can form stereotypes and prejudices. So I actually didn't know this next one, exophobia, the fear of a strong animosity towards people of different races or cultural backgrounds. And that can happen, I think, more in the rural areas where they're primarily white country people and not really understand other races, kind of like where I come from. But the ethnicism, the belief that one's own ethnicity or culture is superior to all the others. Um, and I know what racism is, but threw it in there, negative emotional reactions towards someone simply based on their race. I threw that in there because I think these two correlate with racism or build racism because of how one thinks or believes. And attitude can be implicit or explicit, open about feelings. Um, the closed one is the one I want to talk about, the implicit. There's a lot of different ways that people are implicitly acting as if racism, even if they don't believe it. The example that they used was the Starbucks example, where um, a Starbucks worker called the cops on the African American male that was in there sitting waiting for his colleague and said he hasn't bought anything and she was worried. Um, that is a terrible thing. That is implicit racism, I do believe, and how the attitude directly went towards that because the other people in there said they hadn't bought anything either, which is a sad thing. Um, but I would like to talk to that lady or hear that lady's side of the story as far as with um, her past experiences with what could have happened there, I guess. Um, but norms can separate us unintentionally. So a lot of our norms, customs, and beliefs, like I talked about my religion and how that directly correlated with how with a lot of my customs I still do today and my family does today, kind of directs you towards a certain group of people. And a lot of those people may all have similar backgrounds. Just like myself, I moved. Kansas City was a very different place. Came back to Solomon, Kansas, and it's instantly just more comfortable. Which is, you want to get out of your comfort zone, but instantly more comfortable simply because you are around people who have had similar experiences to yourself, and you know kind of how to act and what to expect and what to believe. This one was good. Actually, I like this case study. I took the most important things that I thought out of it, as far as the steps to completely, again, like it says, engage in diverse communities. So really get to know the community. Differences are assets. We need to see that. We need to see that everybody's different experiences are in fact assets, and we can use those to the best of our ability to come to benefit everybody and everybody's and the community around us. So finding community partners, how can we do it? Asking around businesses, people, people who have influence in the community. Inform the community what's going on. Involve everybody with different backgrounds. Again, talking about those different puzzle pieces. Collaborate with people to different puzzle pieces and empower empower people. So empower, make the community, make people proud of where they live and what they are being involved in. I got whether that means let's get some government funding or fund community funding um, to rebuild parks, parking lots, whatever. And the barriers, what's the holdup? So things such as, do they need babysitters? Do they need um, funding, help, however you can. So the characteristics of my community, more of income, parents in the home, foster families, immigrants. I think of immigrants because of called we have a big company here called Solomon Corporation.